You've probably seen headlines everywhere today. OpenAI just dropped GPT Health. And the internet is literally melting down. Everyone's talking about it. Some people are amazed, others are terrified, and a few are calling this the biggest AI leap since ChatGPT itself. And honestly, they might be right, because what OpenAI just released doesn't just answer questions like a doctor. It's a complete AI-powered healthcare companion that's changing how we think about medical advice, diagnosis, and even mental health. So buckle up, because in this video, we're diving deep into GPT Health, what it is, how it works, why people are freaking out, and whether this could be the future of healthcare or something we should all be worried about. Now, before we start, let's take a step back and remember how we got here. A few years ago, OpenAI gave us ChatGPT, a conversational model that could write essays, code websites, edit videos, even flirt with you if you really pushed it. Then came GPT-4, smarter, faster, multimodal, and it felt like we'd hit the limit of what an AI assistant could do. But now, with GPT Health, OpenAI just crossed into new territory. And this isn't just another chatbot upgrade, it's an entirely new platform trained specifically for healthcare. The goal? To make advanced medical knowledge accessible to everyone, everywhere, whether you live in Silicon Valley or a remote village with one clinic in 100 miles. When OpenAI unveiled GPT Health, the demo wasn't like their usual AI showcases full of quirky use cases. This one hit differently. The AI took in a user's symptoms, reviewed their health history stored securely in their device, and outlined possible conditions, along with risk levels, prevention strategies, and recommended next steps. And here's the crazy part. It could even interact with connected health devices, like your smartwatch or glucose monitor, in real time. Imagine an AI that tracks your heart rate, sleep, calories, hydration, and combines that with clinical data to tell you exactly what's going on inside your body. That's GPT Health. And that's why the world can't stop talking about it. But of course, it's not just excitement online, there's controversy too. The biggest question everyone's asking, can we really trust an AI with something as sensitive as our health? And that's a fair concern. Because health data isn't like Spotify recommendations or search history, it's personal, private, and potentially life-altering. So, let's break down what OpenAI has actually built and how they say they've addressed privacy and safety. According to OpenAI's press release, GPT Health runs on a special secure medical alignment architecture. That means the model is trained and supervised within medical-grade privacy layers, audited by licensed medical professionals. And it supposedly doesn't store or share any personal health data without explicit consent. They're also working with major healthcare providers, universities, and even the FDA in the US to make sure it meets safety and accuracy standards. Basically, they're trying really hard to make this not just another AI tool, but a medically responsible system. Now let's talk about the experience. When people first tried GPT Health during early testing, the feedback was nuts. Some described it as the most empathetic AI I've ever talked to. Others said it felt like having a personal doctor available 24/7, without the awkward small talk or long waiting room times. One tester reported that GPT Health helped them identify early signs of a thyroid imbalance simply from a pattern in their lab readings, and that user later confirmed the diagnosis with their physician. It's moments like these that are making people rethink how AI fits into modern healthcare. But here's what's really interesting. OpenAI didn't design GPT Health to replace doctors. They emphasize that it's an assistant for patients and a co-pilot for doctors. It can summarize medical literature, translate complex research into plain English, or even draft clinical notes. So imagine a busy hospital where doctors use GPT Health to instantly interpret lab data or compare treatment plans based on global medical studies. That could save hours, even lives. Now, let's talk tech for a second, because this is where GPT Health goes beyond what we've seen before. Under the hood, it's reportedly running on what OpenAI calls a specialized version of GPT-5 with biomedical reinforcement learning. That means it's trained with real, validated medical data, peer-reviewed research, and millions of anonymized patient scenarios. Instead of general internet text, it's focused on structured medical knowledge, things like clinical trial reports, health records, and diagnostic cases. And because of that, it doesn't just guess based on patterns, it reasons using medical logic. For example, if you tell GPT Health you have a mild fever, sore throat, and fatigue, a regular AI might just list common conditions. But GPT Health analyzes your symptoms in context, age, region, allergies, medications, and even infection data from nearby areas, before giving you possible causes and safety warnings. It's like WebMD on steroids, but way more precise and less panic-inducing. And yes, it even includes a second opinion feature. This might sound wild, but you can ask GPT Health to double-check a diagnosis or treatment plan against global medical data. It won't override a doctor, but it'll show you how current medical consensus supports or questions a given approach. That kind of transparency is something we've never had at the patient level before. Now, of course, this is also what's making people nervous. Because when you put that much intelligence into the hands of the public, you start blurring lines between guidance and practice. A lot of doctors online are already debating, will GPT Health empower patients or turn them into AI doctors diagnosing themselves? And regulators are cautious too. Some countries may classify GPT Health as a medical device, which would require strict approvals. Others see it as a digital assistant, meaning it's more flexible but less regulated. Either way, this is uncharted territory. Let's pause here for a second, and I want you to really think about this. For decades, healthcare innovation meant new drugs, better surgery tools, or faster lab tests. But GPT Health introduces something completely new: cognitive medicine. We're now talking about AI not just performing calculations or storing data, but actually reasoning like a medical professional. That's a shift that could redefine every layer of healthcare, from prevention to critical care. Now, let's talk real-world benefits, because OpenAI claims that GPT Health was built not just for fancy clinics, but for everyone. One of the most powerful demo moments was when an aid worker in rural India used GPT Health offline through a satellite link to help assess malnutrition in children. The model analyzed images, symptoms, and dietary data to produce a comprehensive report with suggestions and nutritional interventions, all without internet access. That's the kind of impact that can literally change healthcare in developing regions. And OpenAI is integrating GPT Health with wearable makers too. Rumors say Apple and Fitbit are already testing private APIs. This means your health tracker could one day connect seamlessly to GPT Health, so instead of just showing graphs, it'll give you a wellness narrative. Imagine waking up to a dashboard that says, your heart rate variability suggests early fatigue. Try adjusting your sleep cycle tonight. That's personalized AI medicine in action. But with great power comes great chaos. Right after the announcement, you could literally see the internet split into two tribes. One group is hyped, this is it, the AI doctor we've been waiting for. The other group? Totally skeptical, this is going to cause mass misdiagnosis, destroy jobs, and leak private data. And both sides have their points. The convenience and accuracy of GPT Health are amazing, but we don't yet know how it handles edge cases, unknown diseases, or biased data. What if it misses a rare condition because it hasn't seen enough examples? What if people start depending on it instead of seeing a real doctor until it's too late? Those risks are real, and OpenAI knows it. That's why every GPT Health interaction includes visible disclaimers and prompts for medical consultation. They're also setting up a live partnership program with real doctors for cross-verification, so in the future, your GPT Health results could automatically forward summary reports to your physician if you choose. And by the way, OpenAI didn't stop at physical health. GPT Health also comes with integrated mental health support, trained on evidence-based therapy frameworks like CBT and mindfulness techniques. It doesn't claim to be a therapist, but it helps users process emotions, identify behavioral patterns, and suggest grounding techniques. Combine that with medical tracking, and you start to see OpenAI's real vision, a world where your AI companion supports your whole self, not just your lungs or heart. But let's be honest, there's also a business play here. The healthcare market is a goldmine. Trillions of dollars are spent globally each year on medical services, diagnostics, and consultations. If GPT Health becomes the front door to healthcare, OpenAI just placed itself at the center of an industry larger than tech, larger than education, maybe even larger than finance. And yes, investors are noticing. Within hours of the announcement, Microsoft's stock jumped due to its ongoing partnership with OpenAI. Health tech startups are recalibrating their models, and even Google Health is reportedly revising Gemini Health to compete. So yeah, a storm is brewing. But setting business aside, here's something that struck me watching the demo. When GPT Health analyzed a user's heart rate and recommended early rest, the user replied, "You sound like my doctor." And the AI responded, "I am not your doctor, but I can help you take care of yourself better." That line stuck. Because it shows where AI is heading: companionship, not replacement. Assistance, not authority. Still, the long-term implications are massive. What will medical education look like if an AI can summarize every medical paper in seconds? How will insurance companies adapt to AI-based health assessments? Will AI-driven wellness advice become part of our daily routine like brushing our teeth? I mean, we're talking about a world where instead of Googling symptoms, we have a personal AI clinician analyzing real physiological data. It's mind-blowing. And yet, for all this power, there's a human element we can't forget. Health isn't just biology, it's emotion, trust, context. No matter how advanced GPT Health becomes, true healing comes from empathy and connection. That's what OpenAI seems to understand, which is why they emphasized human alignment during the demo. GPT Health doesn't speak like a cold machine. It uses a warmer, more conscious tone, tuned to human sensitivity. For instance, if you input "I feel exhausted and hopeless," it doesn't just flag depression symptoms. It responds with empathy, checking on your safety, and offering human helplines if necessary. That's when AI stops being just smart and starts being caring. So what's next? Sources say OpenAI is rolling out GPT Health in phases. Phase 1 begins with verified users, healthcare institutions, medical students, and early research partners. Later this year, a limited public version will launch, integrated into ChatGPT Plus as a separate module. You'll see a new health mode toggle under Settings, designed to safely engage with the model without sharing identifiable data. And rumor has it, they're already testing a voice interface, meaning you could talk to GPT Health like a virtual nurse or coach. Think Jarvis, but medically trained. But that brings us to the million-dollar question. Should we trust it? Should we really rely on AI for something as essential as our health? My take, cautiously, yes. GPT Health isn't meant to replace critical care or professional diagnosis, but as a first layer of insight, a translator of medical information, and a decision support tool, it's a game changer. Imagine a parent in the middle of the night worrying about their child's fever. GPT Health can calm, guide, and inform before panic takes over. That's not replacing medicine, that's enhancing humanity. We're at the edge of an AI medical revolution, and GPT Health is just the first drop. It's a reminder that technology, when guided responsibly, can truly empower us. The same AI that writes poems and codes games is now helping save lives. That's a wild, beautiful thought. So yeah, people are freaking out, and maybe they should be. Because this moment feels like history in the making. If GPT-3 changed how we work, GPT Health might change how we live. For better or worse, healthcare just met its digital twin. So what do you think? Would you trust an AI like GPT Health with your medical queries? Do you see this as the future of personal wellness, or do you think it's a step too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay ahead of the AI curve, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Verve AI, and turn on the bell, because I'll be diving into more insane AI updates and explaining what they actually mean for you. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one, where we'll talk about something even crazier OpenAI might be quietly building behind the scenes.